Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to my personal top 5 worst Godzilla films. Now, we're getting very close to finding out which one is the worst, but here's number 2. And this Godzilla film is rather strange, not just for Godzilla's sake, but a rather strange movie in general. This film is literally crap, by every definition of the word. Oh boy. Godzilla vs. Hedorah. It was the 12th movie in the franchise and really began to show Godzilla as a hero, and the odd direction that the franchise was heading in. The story is actually pretty simple. A monster from outer space is created by pollution from Earth. It shows up and begins murdering people and absorbing more pollution to grow in size and strength. Godzilla doesn't like pollution, and so he fights this monster. And also pollution? This plot might sound simple, but it's just really oddly paced and poorly explained. It feels that it needs to explain everything to the viewer, and it also stalls the monster fights in that they either dance around a lot or they just take forever for the action to actually happen. There's a lot wrong with this movie, and also a ton of strange or unexplained things that happen. But first, let's talk about the monsters themselves. Godzilla himself looks pretty good. This is the suit that has already been in a few films, but it still looks good here. There are some enjoyable scenes with Godzilla, like when Hedorah launches crap into Godzilla's eye, with an appropriate facepalm afterwards, might I add. There's also a scene where Godzilla jumps off of a pier, which just looks silly and not cool at all. It's not like when he jumped off a cliff in Ibra Horror of the Deep. Also, Godzilla sneeze. Now, Hedorah as a monster's okay, I guess. I mean, he looks like a pollution monster. That's good. But I don't really feel like he's a threat, though. Maybe it's just these giant silly eyes that he has. And I don't really understand how he can willingly transform, but hey, I can accept it. Now, I didn't like that they didn't even try to hide his sludge cannon thing here. And it's really, really obvious. I mean, even as a kid, I saw it. Now, what I don't understand is why Hedorah sometimes has a glowing head. I mean, sometimes it seems to be for a reason, but other times it just glows and nothing happens. So, I don't get it. And so now it's time to focus on the bad and the weird stuff. Pretty much going in order as it happens in the film. First off, in the beginning of this movie, this family isn't even surprised or frightened by the very existence of Hedorah. I mean, are humans just so used to monsters that it's just a monster of the week kind of thing now? The first monster fight is just Godzilla jumping around, and it just hurts to watch. I mean, nothing's really happening. And surprisingly, this kid movie has an old-fashioned murder scene. That is just for the kids, ladies and gentlemen. There's also a scene where a guy is at a club. Now, honestly, as a kid, I didn't understand this scene, but as an adult, I do. This guy gets so friggin' drunk, he sees everyone with fish heads. How's this a kid's film again? And now, behold, amazing filmmaking in its finest. Just so you know, I literally did not mute that. That is exactly how that scene plays in the movie. Now, this movie establishes that Hedorah's sludge kills everything. So how is this baby alive? Is it just bones underneath there? Is that why it's crying? Oh, that's dark, man, if you really think about it. And I understand the scene is showing how the world is reacting. We've seen this kind of thing in movies before. But then it just goes to rainbow. I don't understand why this happens. It's just really confusing and jarring. Whoa! Hobo rapists! Hide your kids, hide your wife. This movie really wants the audience to think this little boy is the smartest person in the film. He is basically the one who comes up with everything or discovers everything about Hedorah. Now, the final fight to me is really, really odd. The humans have these two giant panels which will electrocute Hedorah and dry him out. Well, now, of course, the humans are having power problems, keeping this thing powered with so much electricity. But somehow, without any indication, Godzilla knows what the humans' plan is, and he knew that if he used his breath on the panels, it would have the same effect and not hurt Godzilla himself. No, I cannot accept that, and I definitely can't accept this. Oh my god, this is so stupid. Now, let me explain a little story here. When I was like 6 or something, I found a website called Barry's Temple of Godzilla. Now, you have to remember at this point in time, the internet was relatively new. This was the first website I had found info on all Godzilla movies that had been released. So, in discovering this website, I discovered Godzilla vs. Hedorah. It had a video of this very scene on there, and I thought it was fake. I knew everything else was real because I had seen most of the other films, but I truly never thought this was an actual scene from the movie until I saw it on TV when I was like 9. Now, sometimes this movie has little cartoons that show Hedorah, and they seem harmless at first, until I realized in the first one they show, Hedorah isn't holding 2 oil boats here. He is drinking one and holding a dead whale in the other hand that's bleeding out into the ocean. That really shocked me when I actually noticed that for this review. And now, last but not least, nobody cares that this main character died. He's never once mentioned after he's killed by Hedorah. Did nobody care? Did they completely forget that they actually killed him in the movie and that there wasn't any mourning over him? Or anything? I love this scene where Hedorah leaves the club, but then leaves behind this adorable, dirty little cat. Also, how did it survive? Once again, we already established his sludge kills everything, but here's this perfectly normal cat. Wait, are cats and babies immune to Hedorah's sludge? Is that how we were supposed to beat Hedorah? Yeah, that's just as stupid too, never mind. I love this camera zoom because it doesn't look like whoever the camera guy was zooming into the action. It just looks like he zooms into this girl's butt. All in all, this is the strangest Godzilla movie ever. It's psychedelic, it's about murder and death, alcohol and drugs, and fish heads. There's little value to this movie. It's not enjoyable at all. If you want to watch it, please do yourself a favor. Take all the drugs you can get your hands on and then watch it. You might enjoy it then. Well, that's it. Please come for next time when we get educated on how to handle our problems. What Godzilla film is the worst? Come back and find out.